Hello and welcome to this Capsule CRM help video. And in this video, we're going to be looking at saved lists. And saved lists are really, really useful. We can create our own lists and we can save them. And the content of those lists is dynamic. So every time we click on that saved list, we get an up-to-date list of the contacts, all the opportunities, all the projects that we want, because we can have lists and save lists on the people and organizations area, or the pipeline, or the projects area. So let's have a look and see how to do it. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we have the dashboard, which is such a useful area in its own right. And just to say, of course, we are given some really nice reports now by Capsule that we can really make the most of. So we can drill down into tasks, we can have a look at the pipeline, we can look at conversion rates, we can look at all people and organizations. So there are an awful lot of really useful reports in this area. But we might find that we want to create our own report. We might find that we want to drill down into certain things. We might want to analyze some of the data on our own system. So we can do that by clicking on people and organizations. So we're going to have a look at the people and organizations area first of all. And we might want to find all of our active clients. So we go to tag, we click on client active, and we click on apply. And then we might want to drill down into that list of active clients. We may want to find the ones that are business consultancies. So we click on more filters, and I've created a custom field for industry, which is a list custom field. And within that list, we have business consultancy as an option. So I'm going to click on apply, and we see that we have two organizations that are active clients that are business consultancies, which is really useful. We don't have any people that are tagged as active clients, so we might want to rectify that. So what we can do is we can reset filters. We can go to more filters, and here we have more options. If we tick this, then we're going to be filtering based on the properties of the associated organization. In other words, we will find people that fit the criteria that we are finding on the organization. So we tick on that box. We go to tag, we go to client active, we click apply. And we've got 3 people now that have come up that work at organizations that are tagged with client active. And then let's drill down even further. So we're still looking at the organizations, not the entire database. We're looking at the organization, and we're going to drill down and find organizations that are business consultancies. And we're going to find the people that work there. So we've got John Smith and Jack Lemon, who are the people that work at the organizations that are tagged as active client. And we might want to rectify that. We might want to update Jack and say, well, he's no longer a prospect. He became a potential client, is now an actual client. So what we can do is we can tick on Jack, and we can go to add tag, and we can add client active to Jack. So what we've got here are the people that work at organizations that are tagged as active clients, who are also organizations that are business consultancies. And we then made use of that list by updating a contact on there. So that's one really useful way of making use of saved lists and searching and dicing and slicing our data. But what we can now do is save that list, and we might want to call it active clients. Oh, active clients can't type. Active clients who are business consultants. And we make it available to everybody, and we save it. So we now have a very nice list that we can come back to. So we would just literally come back another day or whatever. We go to our saved lists, click on our saved lists, and we've got active clients who are business consultants, and we've got the 2 contacts there. Now, what we can do then, we can actually change the way this list looks. We can change what we see in it. So we've got the search criteria, which has remained the same because that's what's saved. The content is dynamic. And then we can change how we're sorting that list. So we might want to sort it by last name. So we've got last name coming up here. We might want to edit the columns. We might not want to see a summary, although that is really useful. We might want to say that we want to see first name as well as last name. We might want to see the job title, the organization. We might want to see the email address, but not the phone number. We might not be worried about the location at the moment, but we might want to add when it was added on, or when it was when the person was last up, the contact was last updated. We might want to add in the industry that we're seeing. So, and then we click away. So what we've got here is some really useful information. Now, the reason that business consultancy didn't come up on industry here is that we have a list here of the individuals that work at the organizations that are identified as working in that particular industry. But we know that that is the case because we have the search criteria up at the top. So what we might want to do, we might want to take industry off because that is information that we already know, we already have. So I'm going to click that off, and we might add role. We might see that we have a contact on there who is a business owner. So we can then export the list if we want to a spreadsheet. We can send it over to Transpond, the email marketing tool. We can email the people on this list. We can add a tag to the people on this list. We can even add a note to everybody on this list. But this list is now available for all users on the system. We would just quickly click on Save Changes so that we see it in the same way. But in addition to changing the column view, we can actually now change the width of the columns as well. So we can actually make the screen more informative for us. We could add some more columns on there if we wanted to. Maybe we wanted to add when it was last contacted, or what the website address is. So all sorts of things, what the legal entity is, whether as a client, which service they're receiving from us. There's all sorts of things that we can add there, and we can really make this list really useful. And we can come back to it time and time again. If we want to change it, then we might want to add different filters on there, or we can actually copy the list, and maybe we want to keep all of the filters apart from the industry. Then we would just save a copy of the list, change the industry, and then save that list. So we can just have lots of different lists that we can have on our system, and we can come back to it. And every time a contact is added, and if they match that criteria and meet those filters, then they will appear on the list. So not only can we have lists of people and organizations, but we can also create our own lists in the pipeline area. So we would go to list, and we would maybe just choose the pipeline that we wanted to look at. So we click on sales pipeline. Maybe we want to just drill down into our opportunities that are in the meeting call milestones. We apply to that. And then maybe we want to just click on the opportunities that are currently in our pipeline that are interested in one of our services. So we can click on that, and we can carry on adding filters, and we can do the same here. We can change the width of the columns. We can change how it's sorted. We can edit the columns and add different things into that if we wanted to. And we can then save this list as well. And the same with projects. We go to projects, go to list. Maybe we want to drill down into opportunities that are in the different stages. So maybe design version 1. Nope, there's nobody in there. Go to kickoff meeting. And then we might want to drill down into different tags, or we might want to drill down into different filters. When the expected close date is, when it was added, when it was last updated, when the kickoff session was. Anything that we create a custom field for, we can search on and save into these lists. So I hope you have found that useful. Do let me know if you have any questions. I help clients that already have Capsule, and I help set clients up on Capsule. So do reach out if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help. Thank you for watching.